Alright, before we roll into this video, I just wanted to have a little discussion about some of the orders that have been placed on the website. We ran out of gray t-shirts and gray sweatshirts, and I'm supposed to get an order in here today, and we are going to ship that out immediately here. So tomorrow, which is December 19th and December 20th, is when we're going to finish up on shipping all of those orders out. Any order that comes in after the 19th, the 20th is probably going to be a little touchy, but I would say any order that comes in here after the 19th is not going to make it to you guys by Christmas. Anything that we ship out here tomorrow should make it to you guys by Christmas. We're hoping anyways. We're gonna try our best. So we'll roll into the video here. I thought this segment on the combine I was gonna be able to do in one video. However, I was not able to do that. It was too long-winded, and it's probably gonna be 3 parts from what you're gonna see here in this video up until you see this Diller trailer come in the shop here. So we'll roll into the video, and for any of you that have not placed any orders, if you get them in here by tomorrow, providing I don't run out of the next shipment, we should be able to get it to you by Christmas. So we'll catch you at the end of the video. Well, if you recall in the last video, we ended up doing some fabrication to this crawler, and we were working on the combine. Now we are back on the combine, and we need to get this guy off of there so that we can put that sump on the grain bin. So if you didn't follow along in the last video, what we are doing is we are replacing this part of the bin. It has got some spots where it's cracked and it's real thin, and it's all, of course, wore out. So in order to get into that, we have to have everything removed here. If you also recall back earlier on when we were combining corn, we had this drive sprocket that we had to weld to the hub that's sitting in this rim here, and we were talking about replacing them sprockets. That's still up in the air. I haven't decided if we're going to actually replace them or not, because it doesn't look as though they are wore out enough to warrant doing that. So we've got some pieces to take off here yet in order to get a little further into dismantling that guy, so that we can take that whole unit off of the combine. We've got to take the grain unloading augers out, or the grain bin augers, which are hooked to those 2 shafts that you see coming out the side there. We'll have to thread them out, and then we've got to suspend that horizontal auger to get the vertical auger out. And we've just got a lot of monkeying around here to get all of that apart. Well, we are slowly getting this thing poured down here. I've got the bearings, or I'm getting ready to take the bearings off these auger shafts, and then we're going to pull the augers out. I'm not sure if I can come this way with them augers or if I got to go out the other way, but at any rate, we've got to get the bearings off and then get this whole plate off of here, and I'm not sure if I can just screw them out through this side, or like I said, if we've got to go out the other way with them. So you might be wondering what all the racket is in behind us here. Jared and Christian, they are rebuilding this manure pump. So this is our oldest H5 Husky pump. It's been rebuilt probably 20 times. This is the front pit pump, isn't it? Yeah, it's got that different gearbox. We have done the housing, the square tube on the bottom. We finally smartened up years ago, and we cut this off so that we could just add this extension on. And what usually happens with this is there's a marine bearing that goes in this square tube, which is right on the floor. They call it a marine bearing because the manure gets worked up through it, and it kind of keeps the shaft, keeps that area cool, and it allows it to stay in a stationary spot. But sometimes that chatters and you have to replace the bottom. We've replaced the tube on it several times, these valves several times. This top part is wore out. They've welded some pieces on there, and what they're doing now is they're replacing the fan and the shaft. So this is the fan here, and it gets wore out, gets the shaft down real small, and then it gets wore into the housing as well. So new fan impeller, shaft, housing, marine bearings, marine block or wooden block, kind of stationary. It makes the shaft run true in that tube there. And then Jared's changing these lip seals out as well that go on the actual housing itself. So you might be wondering who's going to be helping him. Christian's been here and there, haven't you, on the videos?
That's right.
That's got to be a 7/16 bolt. Will a 7/16 bolt go in there?
Yeah, I think you gotta jump up a size.
And then put a lock nut on there, or what we're gonna have to do is leave enough threads and we could tack weld the nut to the bolt, just so that doesn't come out, because if that comes out, it's impossible to get that line back up on there again. So this is their shaft that's gonna go on there, and then we've got the bottom housing pieces to that. We have shown this process of rebuilding these pumps here in the past. Jason has a coolant leak on a 7290 that he's going to be working on here in a little while. He's going to work on it over in that bay next door. Now, I just happened to think, I glanced over and I'm looking at this vac truck, and I had a comment the other day. Somebody was asking, you know, how many dents and scratches are there in it? Back when we got it, everybody said it won't look that good. It won't look too good for too long. Well, they have managed to be able to keep the scratches out of it. Now, we use this a few hours every day, 7 days a week, and it is in the same shape it was the day we bought it. So they haven't managed to run into anything with it yet. With the cab in the center of the machine, cameras all the way around it, real nice mirrors. It's a little easier to run than the mensch that we had. Now we keep having these other jobs come in on us here. We thought we were going to be able to get painting this tractor this week. Well, that got put on the back burner again. We had a PTO shaft on the 9410 go out of it yesterday. That cost us some time, and we obviously need to get this manure pump together here. So I'm gonna get to working on this combine, and hopefully we see a little progress on that as the next couple hours go on here. Well, we've got some of this disassembled here. We've got the collars, the locking collars over on this other side. I've got them removed. I've got the bolts out of the flanges. However, I had to cut the locking collars, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut the bearings off of those shafts as well. Now this one's going to be a little easier because I was able to get that front bearing, the bearing off that front auger, and I could put it out here and snip that bearing so that we can go out that other way. That rear one there, we're probably going to have to cut that one in place just because it is what it is. These guys have got this pump just about back together. We shoved a couple of wooden, how many wooden blocks did you put in there? One or two? Two. Got 2 wooden blocks up in here to keep that shaft from vibrating. Got the marine bearing down in the bottom there. And what they've done here is they've got their housing bolted up. They've got the fan in place, and then what they're going to do is weld the fan to the shaft, and then they'll cut that excess shaft off. So the 7290 had a coolant leak. We'll show them what got her all on there.
No, now I gotta go back to the alley scraper.
Oh, back to the alley scraper.
Yeah, I turned the light off there, but I got the new hose kind of in position.
Got it up in there. So this had a heater hose that goes up to a valve here. That was leaking, so it's this hose right here hooks up to that valve. Then it goes back into a T back there a little further. So he'll get that attached. He's got to replace some other hoses, and then he'll get coolant in here. So that's the project with this thing. Here's the hose that he removed here. Yeah. All right, back to our combine project. do you think, crawler?
What?
Crawler next, or?
Is that what all those parts are?
I'm gonna open it and make sure they're all in there. I would weld the little tanker, but if we don't have the PTO back. Alright, got that. On top of the edge. Well, this job is done. We're still struggling with bearings on this combine, but they're going to pull this out. And we've got some items in a box over there for the noon crawler. They might pull that in here next and get on that. Right, Christian? Right. Okay, what is this, the spare one? Yeah, I'm just putting it in the building down there. I'm assuming the middle pit pump is going to blow apart soon. It seems like it. Yeah. Alright. Like that too much. Tough stuff here. Stay right there. I don't know if I want to grab this shaft. That's dirt. Yeah, that go a lot farther when we set it down. There. Them augers out. We need to cut the bearing off of the auger that was in the rear. We're bringing the crawler in here, and they are going to replace the parts on it. They've got to replace this whole front end here. These tubes are all wore out, thin, and they've got a pile of parts here. Well, I was going to cut this one off, but I decided to just pull it off with a bearing puller. We'll see how well that works. This has got two pieces that clamp around the bearing. You tighten this all thread rod up so it squeezes against it, and then we've got our puller hooked into that, and then we just adjust the rod and it works kind of like a gear puller. So we'll see if we can't pull it off with the puller. If we can't, we'll just cut it off. Alright, it'll be tall enough. Get two more, build the front with this. Well, the bearing puller didn't really want to work. I don't know as if I've ever successfully pulled the bearing off with this since I've owned it, and I've had it for 20 years. I was going to replace the bearing anyway, so it isn't like I needed to save it. So we'll go ahead and put these augers out of the way somewhere. I think I'm going to replace the front auger where the sprocket went on the shaft. It is wore a little bit in this section, so that's why that sprocket was a little wobbly. So that bearing came right off, but yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and replace that one. I mean, there's a lot of flighting still there, unless I can get a machine shop to build that up, but I don't think they'll be able to get it done in a timely manner before we need to be able to put this back together. So we'll keep pulling parts off here. At some point we need to do something with that unloading auger. So we'll figure things out as we go here, but we'll go ahead and keep at it. Alright folks, that is going to do it for this video. In a couple of videos you'll find out why this Diller trailer is in here. So take it easy folks. We will catch you at the next one. Thanks for watching.